Hey guys, Kiloh here, and today I just wanted to talk about the spread of misinformation and how rude it is to hear something that you know is off, but instead of correcting the individual, people just give them the side eye and don't correct them. Or at least acknowledge the ignorance directly. It may just be me and a few others, but this is a great pet peeve. So, when I was younger, or in general, I didn't know that baby's eyes grew. I knew you can't judge me when I was never put into a situation when that information would be necessary. No one is bound to know everything, and with that being said, it's mad annoying when I later find out from an outside source that babies' eyes actually do grow from the time they're born to when they're an adult. I don't know why I thought they didn't, but I felt obligated to say, hey, they don't. You may be confused as to what led to the conversation about baby's eyes, but I swear that I'm going somewhere with this. Of course, I could have Googled it at the time, but when no one corrected me, I just assumed that I was right and that further research wasn't necessary. Knowing later down the line that the people who allowed me to talk out my butt knew the actual facts, or just knew that I was wrong, is borderline heartbreaking because I look so stupid without knowing it. Now I know how stupid I sounded, so no need to roast me. I guess I was really interested in the topic later down the line because I did my own research, owned up to the fact that I sounded like a fucking dingus, and then I went on to not spread the same misinformation. Maybe your neighbor thinks that babies' eyes don't grow as they age. Maybe you couldn't give a damn, which is valid, though beyond the little and almost irrelevant in a normal situation things, ignoring the spread of misinformation can lead to consequences even generations can suffer from. If you were wanting a few examples, I could just throw a few out there from the top of my head. Let's see, we got racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, religion, and that's just a few off the top of my noggin. I myself may not be as educated on the things I'm discussing as I wish I could be, but it doesn't take a genius to see the pattern here and to realize that some things are very, very wrong. I feel like it's at times like these when we really need some to reevaluate what we're fighting for. I mean, you have individuals going to Black Lives Matter protests but refusing to walk paths with someone who has a differing canoodling preference. I mean, in what way does that even involve anyone outside of that said relationship? That honestly baffles me. I mean, the Black community and the LGBTQ community have both suffered, of course, to different degrees, but we're kind of fighting for the same thing. I always stress having an open dialogue with someone who is from the Black community who is usually a part of an older generation. Boomers is what they're casually referred to in this day and age. And they usually bring up the Bible and then misinterpret what that one verse means. I saw this below Vlogbrothers video and it says something like, if I can't get married because of your religion, then you shouldn't be allowed to have cookie because of my diet. Not to mention that people like that always pull a quote out that goes something like, if a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them, blah, blah, blah. And then they put that quote in their pocket for any time they see anyone with painted nails or piercing. Yet, they would never imagine that the Old Testament's death penalty for adultery should be applied in today's world. Most young Christians who support their gay friends but who think it's gross when they kiss usually will say something like, well, we shouldn't take everything the Bible says literally because it was probably mistranslated. And you can't just take out some parts, say that they're wrong, and continue to spread the word of the Bible without acknowledging the cognitive dissonance. I mean, the Bible says a lot of janked up things that I'm not going to completely touch on, but may mention a few in a bit. I mean, I know that there are still some that wouldn't be convinced as the Bible says what it says and there's no going around it. Then, like, are we gonna just not skip over that time Solomon had like 700 wives and 300 concubines? Or in Leviticus 25:44 to 46, I think it says that your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life. But you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. And I swear the amount of people who try and excuse or justify that quote remind me of those that try and justify what Trump says when he makes an ignorant claim or posts any tweet. It just irks me when people take certain phrases out of an outdated book like that, use them out of context, and then not expect a correction when those same beliefs are excusing oppression. I may have just done a bit of that, but hopefully it's excusable since I'm not gonna store them in my pockets to oppress groups down the line. Just think for yourselves. I once asked a family member why they disliked the LGBTQ plus community, and they just kept regurgitating the same information about the Bible without answering the question. I asked, why do you dislike a group when they have done nothing to you? Then they'll reiterate what they just said by saying something like, oh, they're going to hell anyway, it doesn't matter to me. Who the hell are you to say that? Like, who the hell do you think you are to say something like that? Believe in what you want to believe. But when you take that belief and when you try and excuse and justify the oppression of others, then I start committing arson. Anyways, I didn't mean for this to turn into a religious rant, but I'm so sick and tired of the hate between two groups who just want to live and not be shot down for something they can't change. Once again, both are at different degrees. I am no way trying to compare the two or make any experiences invalid. I just felt the need to express that. I'm planning to discuss the Black community in a later video, as well as the toxicity within it that no one really talks about. This video may have escalated, but it's not fair for some of the Black community to ramble on justice while watching and attempting to excuse the injustice that's subjected to other groups. On my channel that involves the spread of misinformation, please don't hesitate to correct me in the comments, even if it's on this video. Anyways, I'm gonna go and eat a banana, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Don't be a bigot, tolerate each other equally, or hate each other equally. Bye! I hope this doesn't sound like crap.